Volume 3 Chapter 1 Request from the Flueve Empire Medicine Academy. 2 weeks after the Empress declared the end of the Black Plague. Although confusion and the aftermath of the plague still remained in the imperial capital, the Flueve market was also held with an extended schedule of the original plan, and the scene of their daily lives is returning. By the way, the windhole that Falma opened during the fight against Camus on the 4th floor of the Different World Pharmacy was closed up in a week by many craftsmen. The crater that Falma made in front of the pharmacy was also fixed by Earth Divine Arts users sent by the Empress using her authority. The civilian houses and stores that were collapsed by the wind Divine Arts of Netale Kingdom's Holy Knights were being reconstructed at a rapid pace using the Empire's funds to hire many craftsmen and purchase materials. And in a certain day's afternoon in a good weather, Falma is walking at the market together with Lot and Ellen. The marketplace is full of liveliness, and there are huge battles to pull in customers being held. The three have already finished their lunch buying spicy roasted chicken and rare kind of roasted sweet potatoes. Ellen stopped in front of a medicinal plant store's tent. "Ah, take a look. There it is. It's also here this year, Navarre's herbs. It's difficult to get it, you know." Ellen saw rare herb and immediately bought it. For pharmacists, this market where valuable herbs, potions, and spices from all over the world gathers once a year is a chance to buy things easily without the need to go so far to get raw materials. And there is a pink-haired beautiful girl who stopped in front of the cake shop stall and would not leave. She is talking to the store owner as if she was having an enormous deal. I will ask once again. What flavor was this cake again? She is choosing very carefully between the good-looking baked goods before her. There is orange and nuts. I'm also curious about that raisin cake. Well then, I'll buy 2 for each one. Lot is carefully buying treats using the salary she got from working at the Different World Pharmacy. And that she would bring it to her mother and her fellow servants in the House of the Medicis, so she is buying a lot of those ever since the Flueve market started. Falma thought that she was like a middleman. Well then, I'll go and take a look around there. Falma was also shopping while the girls enjoyed shopping. I have a gift to give thanks to the people who did their best during the Black Plague turmoil. This time Falma has bought each of them presents. Hearing his words, Lot straightened her back and widened her eyes. Falma gave the girls 1 bag each. "The 2 of you, thank you for always supporting me. It's full of my gratitude." A person cannot tell their feelings of gratefulness if they do not put it into words. That's why Falma always reminds himself to always say the words thank you. Although surprised by the sudden event, the 2 opened the pretty bag. Ellen was given a perfume popular between nobles and royalties. Lot was given a cute apron with detailed embroidery. By the way, Cedric, who stayed in the store, was given an expensive staff with a chic design. "Thank you, Falma-kun. This perfume, it's the one I'm interested with. How did you know I liked it?" "It seemed like it's popular, so I thought Ellen might like it." Ellen enjoyed the smell with a mesmerized expression after she applied on her wrist. Ellen is weak to clear sweet smell. Falma has finished researching that. Oh really, Falma-kun has thoughtfulness unimaginable from a child sometimes. Well, I'm not a kid after all. To think that you can casually give presents to women, I wonder how it will be in the future. Don't get into any scandals, okay? But although Ellen said that, her expression is drunk with joy. Falma does not think he could do that casually. But for him, who has traveled all over the world for academic meetings, conferences, research and etc. in his previous life, he did not forget to give gifts for souvenirs to his laboratory staff. It is well said that presents are better if the likes from everyday life are researched, and he is a person who does not neglect to have efforts for such human relationships. He had a good reputation with them, saying, "Yakutani-sensei has a great sense when it comes to presents. Aprons with such beautiful flower embroidery, commoners don't wear them, you know." Lot was very happy and could not help but take a peek at the apron in the bag and let out a sigh. It looks like it is rare for masters to buy things with embroidery for their servants. Does Falma-kun want anything? Let us return the favor to two. Ellen started worrying about what's good in return. I want to give back something too. Lot also raised her hand after she took a peek at her wallet and showed her tongue. It looks like she used too much from buying treats. I'm fine. I already bought what I want. Spices, and also good quality paper. Falma said that and peeked inside the bag that is full of his trophy. Eric, it's true. You bought a lot. Falma found a good quality paper in the marketplace, so he immediately bought a lot of it. He purchased the paper to use it as a note for his experiments or to write books. He searched for a high-quality paper that can last for hundreds of years. Even so, Falma-kun and spices. Are you planning on using it to make a new medicine? You're always medicine, medicine, medicine. You're really Falma like your name, you're really diligent, huh? Ellen was impressed as such, so Falma looked down with some kind of guilt. No, it is not for medicine, it is for curry, although, he was not able to say that. He was able to obtain spices like cumin, turmeric from the market spice stall, so he was planning to secretly curry inside his laboratory in the 4th floor. It looks like although they have the spices, curry does not exist in this world. It is a very sad Japanese characteristic that they would think of curry when it comes to spices. There might be a commotion due to its smell. Rice doesn't exist in this world, so I should bake some naan using flour. Falma must think of the timing of when he would make it, but it is a secret plan that he is looking forward to. By the way, in his past life, although his main meals are nutritional supplementary food, because there are some things in common when it comes to experiment and cooking, his cooking skills are in a uselessly high level although he did not practice a lot. It's going to smell, so it's probably impossible to make it a secret. I should hold a curry party, and make everyone taste it. Falma thought of hosting a curry party. After lunchtime had ended, the three returned to the pharmacy, and gave his present to Cedric, who stayed with the reason, I do not have anything that I want to buy in the market. It is an excellent staff with 2 amber crystals. Cedric-san, thanks always. It's just a bit of my feelings. This is it alright? I know just by seeing it, it is a very expensive, high-performance staff. Its wood is completely made out of dal tree, and the crystal is fulgin yellow. Its design is elegant as well. It should raise the power of the holder by 150%. The words that a divine staff store's store owner would tell came out from Cedric's mouth as fast as a machine gun. He showed an aspect of being a staff maniac just like Ellen. Falma did not know about it that much, so he just placed an order to the store owner saying, the one which is most durable and highest performance. It is good that you like it. Cedric's staff is not only for divine arts, but it also an auxiliary for walking. His staff is old and has a somewhat lacking handle, so he was very happy. Yes, I liked it very much. I must persevere practicing my divine arts with this. Cedric, who have completely supported the maintenance of soil and fertilization of the House of de Medici's herb garden, seems to be not good in attack-type divine arts. But even so, he said that he will train from now on since he received a staff with a smile. During the pharmacy's afternoon business, Bruno's pharmacist disciple came to the pharmacy with a horse. Falma-sama, can you please come to the medicine academy in the evening today? The president is calling you. Father is it too late to hear about it after we went home? Although Falma's father always returns home late during the morning, he would always tell Falma his schedule. But since it is today's today, Falma must have been called for a sudden matter that was decided today. Eleonora-sama as well. Me too? No way. Eleanor, who was listening to their conversation as if she had nothing to do with it, suddenly became serious and nervous. The call from her immediate master seems to be scary for a first-class pharmacist as well. I was already planning on taking a look at the progress of Professor Casper's fungus research, so I am going to the academy either way. Falma opened his schedule book and checked his schedule. Falma's schedule is completely full. The business in the pharmacy, the cooperation to Professor Casper's experiment, confirmation of the construction process of the pharmaceutical factory in Marseille, etc. Falma's schedule book is completely full. There are also business trips to the Netale Kingdom. After that, there are also writing medicinal textbooks. Thank goodness. The disciple seemed to be relieved. Was a new kind of disease was found or something? Falma asked what he needs to know to prepare his medicine. There is no need to bring anything. Is that so? Then, what is it about? Falma and Ellen could only tilt their heads. In the evening, Falma and Ellen closed the pharmacy early and went to the Flueve Empire Medicine Academy riding a horse. There are currently only 4 royal court apothecaries that the empire recognizes, pharmacists that can give royalties and nobles including the emperor medical examinations, including Falma. There are only 21 first-class and second-class apothecaries who can give royalties and nobles medical examinations. There are only so few of them. The empire's passing standard to become a high-class apothecary is very strict. And the pharmacist school graduates would either apply for the high-class apothecary exam while practicing without a license, or become a high-class apothecary with a lenient standard of other countries. Ellen, President Bruno's #1 disciple, who have both talents in pharmacy and divine arts and passed the first-class apothecary examination with just the age of 15 for being too excellent, currently does not have direct relations with the academy. She is the type who would rather look at patients rather staying in a laboratory, so she does not specialize on experiments but specializes in giving nobles medical examinations before. Although right now, she received an order from Bruno, spending all of her time on the different world pharmacy. There are medicinal herb gardens, research building, lecture building, divine arts experiments building, cafeteria, student dormitory, etc. that are built inside the academy's premises. Falma and Ellen got off their horse and passed through the beautifully arranged courtyard that has a large fountain that was making a cooling sound. The pharmacy students that know about Ellen followed behind her as if they were chasing after their idols. There were also students who left after receiving a handshake. Ellen's popular her? Apparently, Ellen seems to have a fan club when she was still studying. It's already 2 years since I've graduated though. I wonder how they knew about it. But even so, alma mater, how nostalgic. It looks like Ellen feels nostalgic about her alma mater that had not visited for a long time. We have been waiting. Master de Medicis, Miss Bonfoy. The disciple guided the 2 of them to the large conference room of the research building. Falma had some doubts about why they were brought there, not the president's office. The large conferences room is a huge room that has a high ceiling and has a chandelier hanging. Many ladies and gentlemen were present. Each of them is huge figures of the aristocracy. It looks like the faculty meeting will begin from now. Ellen checked inside through the gaps of the door. They were all professors that she knows of. Should we come again after the meeting ends? We will be on the way too. Falma asked the disciple. If the meeting is about to start, it would feel bad to call out Bruno for private matters. Since Bruno is the president, he also in charge of the faculty meeting. Professor Casper is within them as well. I should wander around the campus for a while. It was when he thought of that. No, please enter inside. Everyone is waiting for Falma Sama and Eleanor Sama. Is it all right? Hey, I haven't heard about this. Please do not hold back. Master de Medicis and Miss Bonfoy have arrived. After the disciple had declared with a loud voice, the conference room's door was quickly opened. Gazes from the conference room gathered at once. Come in. Yes. Falma and Ellen helplessly appeared in front of the faculty. You finally came. Bruno's voice sounded. The ones seated in the long arching conference table are the first-class professors and lecturers of the Imperial Medicine Academy. And the president, Bruno, is seated in the innermost seat. Please excuse us during your meeting. Falma and Ellen greeted in front of the faculty. Actually, Bruno seemed reluctant to speak. President, The unique-looking vice president who has a wealthy belly and exploded white hair stood up. We understand that this is very difficult to say as a father to his son, so I shall. Falma prepared himself, thinking of what the vice president, who does not seem to have anything to with it all, would tell him. We should get straight to the point. The two of you who have arrived. It has been decided that our academy shall establish a comprehensive medicine department next year. We would like to ask Master Falma to teach there as the chief professor. Yes. Falma almost ceased of thinking because all of his expectations were off the mark. Frankly speaking, we are asking, would you like to become a professor of the Empire's Medicine Academy? Another professor declared. And we would like to ask Miss Bonfoy to support Master, who have many things to do. We will have you named as a lecturer as well. Ellen also opened her mouth petrified. Many gazes full of expectations were showered down towards the two of them, and Falma thought deeply of what to do. I have not attended the academy, and a child who has yet to have his coming of age. I believe that I cannot meet up with your expectations. Falma thought that it was not an effective excuse. However, he is not thinking of affiliating himself to the academy and become a teacher right away. We know very well that you are still young. However, it can be said naturally in consideration of your glorious achievement. Within just this 1 year, you have invented the thing called the microscope, developed a special medicine for the white plague. Not only that, you have stopped the black plague epidemic by inventing a new medicine. Those achievements that cured incurable illnesses one next to the other must be greatly admired. It is not known that the Empress was suffering from the white plague, but it seemed that it was rumored that it is Falma who made that cure. When the vice president started to applaud by himself while saying, "Marvelous," the other faculty members followed him. It was a round of applause. Bruno coughed and seemed to look at them that was slightly distasteful eyes. This not a feat that an ordinary man can achieve. You are a prodigy. To think that medicine would be made out of my research that could only be described as a hobby, no one would believe it. Professor Casper also declared excitedly. It is true, Falma had directly guided Professor Casper's research. No, praises that could only be prefixed by huge. Falma, who is not used to being seriously praised other than simple flattery, slowly began to shrink. Up until now, Falma has misled the truth by treating the new medicines that he introduced as his father's work, but his father might have finally revealed it to the professors. It would become difficult to move with this. Falma felt very frustrated. And instead, it could be said that Falma's father, who have completely supported Falma by making him free to take actions, has finally used his social standing of having a noble title and the Academy's president to enclose Falma. Everyone belonging to the faculty here can proudly say that we have the best brains in the country. However, although this is pathetic to say, we cannot beat your knowledge in new medicinal technologies. The vice president told a pathetic comment. However, there was no one who was dissatisfied to those words. They all agreed, speaking out, that it was exactly true. Although we know that this is selfish, but we want to learn your knowledge as the Academy. Things like you being an 11-year-old, or have yet to come of age, we do not intend to argue about those non-academic problems. Falma's father probably told earlier in the meeting that Falma is possessed by a medicine god or something. Or maybe, the rumors or other things had spread too much that it cannot be concealed that Falma isn't human anymore. And everyone right now, they have confirmed with their eyes that Falma does not have a shadow. He cannot make up excuses. Falma has nowhere left to escape. However, the reason why they do not ask Falma, "Are you the medicine god?" nor do not point out, "You don't have a shadow," is probably Falma's father's intention. What are you planning? Father, Falma stared at his father, trying to understand his intentions, but he was unable to read his father's expression. Falma is also a man who has become a sub-professor in a university in his past life. He is not unwilling to affiliate with the Academy and live a life of experimenting. He rather wishes to do it for the sake of educating his juniors. However, even though this world's medicinal world is backward, it is too obtrusive to have an 11-year-old child appearing in the limelight. The danger that would befall to him and the pharmacist's employees is too great. That is why, the things that he can only do as a boy right now, is to write medicinal textbooks while hiding the author's name secretly. He had thought that it would be alright to be used as standard education in medical universities, since it can be read by anyone, and would last for 100 or even several hundreds of years. And Falma himself thinks that he would wish to become a type of person who would face his patients, rather than face with medicines in laboratories in this life. He also wants to refrain from being treated as a medicine god or be worshipped. However, his father must have his own thoughts. If there is an unknown knowledge just in front, and if it can be reached by reaching out a hand, he probably thought that all of it must be brought to light no matter means are used. That is what being a researcher is. We do not wish to force you. What do you think? Falma's father faced him and asked with a calm tone. It was not like Falma absolutely hates to become one. He is just thinking very carefully whether to accept it right now. Well then, I should ask Miss Bonfoy. What will you do? Me? If it is Master's order, I will humbly accept. Bruno had sent eye contact towards Ellen and checked her beforehand. The only answer that Ellen could say was yes. Bruno had released a pressure of, you won't get off well depending on your answer. It is Ellen who becomes timid in front of Bruno, who is her master. You heard her. Falma, what would you do? Well then, if it is a lecturer, then being a professor is too much of too much. It is too conspicuous. Being a sub-lecturer is just good. Too bad, but the slots for lecturers had closed right now. The only post open is a professor. It's a newly established department, you know. There's no way that could be true. Falma thought to himself, I'm the store owner of the different world pharmacy, so that would hinder the pharmacy business. We do not mind as long as you will give lectures to the students. You are free to discuss any time. We don't mind even if it is just several hours a day. The vice president immediately compromised. Falma made excuses about this and that, but he was immediately told, we do not mind, please do as you please. If so, well, if I directly raised a student, they would become specialists later on, so maybe that would be better as a result. That also has a point, Falma decided. At the worst scenario, it might be even possible to leave the medical examinations of the different world pharmacy to them. If so, I will accept. But I would feel awkward as a full-time professor. Please make it a fixed-term employment. Falma said in desperation. Well then, please take care of us, Professor Falma de Medicis. Teacher Eleanor Bonfoy. Why yes. And just like that the discussion ended very quickly. And because of that, Flueve Empire's Medicinal Academy has invited a special professor at 11 years old and one lecturer by an unprecedented personal management.